Oh, alrighty. Hello. A little bit late there. I was adding a clip. One of you guys had suggested it on the Discord if you haven't joined already, but it's from the first Spider-Man movie, I'm pretty sure. It's the first one where Norman Osborn is getting pushed out of his Oscorp company, and he says, "Oh, you can't do this. Do you know how much I've sacrificed?" So the sacrifice part goes along with Mono Black Waste Not. Oftentimes, I mean, they can't do a whole lot. If they can't target me with their Thoughtseize and go blank and all of that, because I'm using the Leyline of Sanctity, but as we've all used or had it used against us, Shieldred's Edict, not so fun. Liliana of the Veil, but when it happens tonight, because it seems like it has to happen at least once a night, I got this ready.
But you can't do this to me.
You know how much I sacrificed?
Ooh. Didn't actually test how that lined up with my voice and the music, but I did tone it down a little bit. But I think if it was too low, it wouldn't have quite the impact. It's supposed to scare you. It's lovely contrast right there. Okay, we'll jump right into it. We'll get into why Thrashing Brontodon is back. Oh, I love it. It's going to do the trick. Just a fantastic all-around general dinosaur body. Okay, Leyline of Sanctity still in, because Mono Black Waste Not continues to be the most common painful matchup that I face. So I want to have the thing that basically beats it. If we can land this, like I said about the sacrificing stuff, that's pretty rough. But Thrashing Brontodon in the sideboard, if I bring in the Torpor Orb here to shut down Amalia or Celestia Angels, both of those care about when a creature enters, they gain life, and if we can turn off that part, it really hoses both decks. But we could, maybe face some other deck with creatures, with Enter the Battlefield triggers. I haven't really faced much Amalia, and I've faced no Celestia Angels since I've added in the Torpor Orb, but those are the scariest matchups, and I'm not too scared to face much else, really, at this point. The common stuff, I mean, Mono Black Waste Not feels quite nice with Leyline of Sanctity, and sometimes, often enough, we get the wins against the aggressive stuff. They stumble just a little bit, then I get to pop off. Hopefully, Ghalta Stampede Tyrant on turn 4, but that is magical Christmas land. Doesn't always happen that way, but it could potentially happen. As always with Stampede Dinos, pairing Sunken Citadel or multiples. 2 of these means 4 mana total for a land with an activated ability. As long as one of them is green, you get to put that green plus the 2 of any other color towards Castle Garenbrig's activated ability. Boom. 6 green, 3 lands. If it is 2 other Sunkens, and it's pretty easy to get a couple other lands mixed in there with the Archdruids, the Sylvan, and Commune with Dinosaurs. I felt like maybe I would prefer Commune. Switched out for the Spinewoods Armadillo. Of course, Commune itself is not a creature, but it's almost guaranteed that it's going to look in the top 5, and it's going to find one of those big guys, or a land. It should usually be a land. Then we play that, and that land that I grab by casting Commune, chances are could be something other than a basic, which Spinewoods Armadillo, with its ability to discard, was only ever grabbing a basic. It could grab a desert, but both of them, they grab a land, usually in Commune's case, and they put it into the hand. Fantastic. But Spinewoods Armadillo, of course, well, it can't grab a dinosaur or anything. It is a big creature itself, kind of as if Commune grabs a big dinosaur. And, everything pretty much in this deck is massive and nicely sized. But also with Commune, the consistency early on is going to be through the roof. Absolutely. Consider this. 2 Sunken Citadels to start. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Feels pretty bad. But with Commune on turn 2, you play your second Sunken Citadel. The first one is untapped. So now you can use 1 green with Commune to dig to grab the third land. Hopefully it is Castle Garenbrig, but in that situation with some of these tap lands, you wouldn't still be able to go with the Spinewoods Armadillo on turn 2. You'd have to wait for both Sunken Citadels, so Commune with Dinosaurs could fit in there a lot more smoothly. The odd time, I don't see a land on the top 5. Wow, it would either be a land or a creature. Be pretty rough. It could be possibly, a couple other Leyline of Sanctities, plus maybe some Archdruid's Charms. There is a very real possibility with this specific list tonight that I could whiff, but it's a very, very low chance. Yeah, that's about it. Thrashing, it comes in to take out the Torpor Orb, which hurts us, but it hurts opponents more, and that opponent might not have an out to get rid of the Torpor Orb. I just take it out when I'm ready to go off with the enter the battlefield effect of Ghalta and unlocking the potential of Vaultborn Tyrant. Hornet Queen as well, still in there for worried about aggressive decks and whatnot. Yeah, I'm excited to use that Spider-Man clip. Whew. Do you know how much I've sacrificed? I was thinking of recording myself with a bit of a transparent background, and then I would have that clip. I was thinking of practicing it, but maybe I will. One day. I think it is mono black. We see the Liliana avatar. I'm pretty certain that's what it's going to be. Could work-ish a little bit. I do like seeing Commune, but because I see that avatar, you know what I'm looking for. Okay, we got that Leyline of Sanctity. Beautiful stuff. I'm going to send both Carnage Tyrants to the bottom. Archdruid's Charm, 100%. It is going to be grabbing a land, so having the Ghalta, I don't have to think about an Archdruid's also grabbing a land and also grabbing a Ghalta. Thunderwolf, how's it going? It just found your... well, not your channel, my channel. Good stuff. Happy to hear. Always happy to have anybody watching right now, later on. Usually it is pretty late, but yeah. Always nice to hear from new people, old people, lurkers. If you're, just sitting back, enjoying it, perfectly fine. But yeah, that is going to do the trick. We're going to get him. Oh boy, play your swamp or your... Oh, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Oh boy, did you have a thought, Seize? And oh my goodness, Castle Garenbrig, the opponent is possibly dead. I think they're done for. Oh yeah, oh, this is good. I knew it. I knew that avatar. It meant something. If we draw another land at some point in the next 2 turns, they might be done. We'll see. Liliana of the Veil, though, a little bit problematic. Vaultborn Tyrant, do I want to play that instead of Ghalta? Yeah. We have to get Ghalta out of the way. Vaultborn Tyrant could be quite a bit better. Game is acting up a little bit. It's kind of slightly glitchy. Either way, Sunken Citadel. We'll choose a source of red. Not that I need it, but I could more easily get down Palani's Hatcher, Regisaur Alpha, and all that sort of stuff. Oh, it should be good. And now here's the thing. I knew I would have to discard multiple cards with Liliana, so we'll get rid of the Cavern. I can still make 7 on turn 4, and I'm able to play the Vaultborn, where I wouldn't have been able to play Ghalta's Stampede Tyrant, unfortunately. If they have a sacrificing thing, Sheoldred's Edict, that's pretty bad, because then I get another copy. Oh boy, what?
But you can't do this to me.
You know how much I sacrificed?
I couldn't resist. I had to get it out of my system. I promise I won't press that clip every single time I have to sacrifice something, but now we got some good value. They can't -2. Yes. -2. Keep in mind, folks, target player sacrifices a creature and they can't target me. Oh shucks. Nuts. We can play Carnage Tyrant. We don't have to worry. Well, we still have to worry about more Sheoldred's Edicts, but hey, should be okay. I can still eventually. Yeah, it is a little bit wacky acting up on me, huh? Tyrranax Rex. I like Tyrranax Rex. Let's just let's play that. It's like I can still see the taskbar. Odd. It's like I pressed the Windows key one too many times. They should be dead. I would imagine they're dead. It's very strange. It's like Arena isn't in full screen. Huh. Hopefully they don't have Extinction Event, but keep in mind, Tyrranax Rex is odd. Carnage Tyrant is even, so we would be okay. Maybe I should have a clip for when they cast Extinction Event, like they are casting Extinction Event. Hopefully not Sheoldred's Edict. Be a little bit rough. But there's still, plenty of big creatures. Sadly, the end, exiling the Vaultborn Tyrant, not very fun. All of the Vaultborn Tyrants. There isn't a single copy in the deck anymore. Rough stuff. But also pretty rough. Pretty decent. Playing Palani's Hatcher. Oh, yep. That tends to do the trick. Gets the job done. Okay. Keep it the same? Pretty much. Yeah. I thought maybe they wouldn't be mono black, but the Liliana avatar was a dead giveaway, I guess. And we still got there quite nicely after mulliganing pretty aggressively just for the Leyline of Sanctity. If they're not doing anything to interrupt us, there is a little bit of time to get the third land, play the Archdruids, get a bunch of stuff out. It is unfortunate. Against any other deck, I would want to keep this, and I might. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try it. We'll see. Oh boy. At the very least, because I have 2 Sylvan Scryings. I know for a fact that I'm going to be able to cast one. Hopefully the Archdruid's Charm. But, yeah, I had 3 lands, a bunch of stuff that grabs lands. So even though I didn't have the Leyline to protect against the Thoughtseizes, enough of it should survive even through the discarding. And I also like seeing 2 Castle Garenbrigs big time. Very nice in the face of their land destruction, the Field of Ruin, and all of that. Whew. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Well. You know what just gets sunken down? I could have played Castle plus Archdruid's Charm. That Sunken always enters the battlefield tapped. We'll go Archdruid's Charm next turn, but we could also draw a second Sunken. Something like that. We could draw Ghalta, and I wouldn't have to use Archdruids to grab Ghalta's Stampede Tyrant. Sadly have to discard something, but at the very least I'll be playing Carnage Tyrant next turn. I don't want to give him mana, 100%. I don't actually need that Stomping Ground. You know what, I'm gonna hope that they can't make use of that too. Good. Whew. It's always a little bit scary when you do something like that, man. Let me think. Carnage Tyrant we would just have to sacrifice, so we'll leave the Archdruid's Charm there. We'll get the second Sunken Citadel onto the battlefield, and then if we draw Ghalta's Stampede Tyrant, next turn they would be dead. Which is pretty fantastic. Get rid of that Leyline. That's okay. Draw a card. They're all tapped out. We should be okay. Yeah, pretty cool to know if I drew one specific thing. Smoked. Out of the water. Make sure I get that source. Oh, what? Thunderwolf. You. Oh, boy. Lights out. Oh. Well, that's a pretty good case. You just found the channel, and you just had a fantastic moment like that live. It's pretty good. Sometimes I do say my top decks are some of the best top decks you could potentially have, because what's not to love about that? It's got to be at least fairly legitimate. I mean, I had 5 lands. I tapped, I made 8 mana, 2 Sunkens, 4 mana for Castle, 2 lands left over, Ghalta, boom. That is why you have 4 copies. That's at least why I have 4 copies. I want to see that happen all the time, as often as possible. It's kind of like the glue that holds it together, and if you can make 8 mana easy enough and often enough, I think I can do it often enough. Well, there you go. That's what you get to do. And if all the creatures in the deck are big and nice, well, it's always going to be impactful when you do Ghalta Stampede Tyrant. You could have, other small stuff, which is fantastic as well. I've said it many times before. If I faced the more aggressive version of Dinosaurs, Land War Elves, Elvish Mystic, that sort of thing, I would lose to my more aggressive version of this deck big time. I don't do a whole lot early in the first few turns, so the opponent going turn 1 Land War Elves, turn 2 Pugnacious Hammer Skull, yeah, it's pretty rough. Or turn 1 Land War Elves, Marauding Raptor, Huntmaster, a more hey, very, very good. But yes, yeah, you can picture it. Any sort of aggro deck, usually that is quite painful, whether it is Dinosaurs or the Slick Shot show off that everybody is loving. Very, very great potential, scary potential for me, but a little bit light early. I don't imagine every deck can be good against everything, but hello, how is it going? Hopefully all is well with you. Better for you than that previous opponent. Maybe if it was a Source of Green. 1 Cavern Souls as the only land. Yeah. Okay. 1 more mulligan. That's going to have to be it. Sadly, we don't have any ley lines, but, well, it did the trick against the Nightly Mono Black. You know what? I'm sending Regisaur Alpha to the bottom. For some of you new guys, Regisaur Alpha, Palani's Hatcher, there are instances where I can't cast either of those, and I can cast Carnage Tyrant and Tyrranax Rex earlier. Sometimes I'm casting Carnage Tyrant on turn 4 because I can make 6 green, but I can't have one of that green be red. which is quite crazy. Commune, I would imagine it gets Castle Garenbrig for the turn, setting up for Carnage Tyrant turn 4, Tyrranax Rex turn 5, and pretty slick in the face of Landfall Tamer Elementals. This is going to be quite problematic with the Brushfire Elementals. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under their control, it gets +2/+2. Those things get pretty darn big, so hopefully Carnage Tyrant scares away the aggression enough. They can't target it, and I don't think that 3 lands are going to enter. As long as it's only 2 lands, they will only be 5/5s, so we might be safe. Go down to 4 maybe if one of the Brushfire Elementals attacks, something like that. It shouldn't be too bad. We're dropping Tyrranax Rex next turn, and I have to imagine that would scare him away, probably. Okay, I like the looks of that. Now I could go Archdruid's Charm to just take down a Brushfire or something. We'll leave Archdruid's Charm. We won't attack. Play it safe. The Dinosaurs are going to be a little bit passive. Show some restraint. Unless they have damage that can go straight to my face. That also is a very... Oh, okay. Oh, even better. Well, I like the looks of that. 16, 20... I think that's it.
Ruthless aggression.
16. Let me do the math. Let me think. Unless they can get a land that enters 4. So. I think it's it. Instant speed, a land entering the battlefield to pump up the Brushfire Elemental. Both of them have to attack anyways, or block anyways. That should do the trick. Okay. Phew. That was a little bit tense, but that's also pretty good. Playing the big creatures ahead of curve, and if you're going to be able to make a bunch of mana a little bit earlier, you might as well have a bunch of big stuff. However, again, for the new people, Thrashing Brontodon, this is a fantastic case. It costs 3, so if you have a bunch of specifically 3-cost creatures, you have 2 of them. You can use the 6 mana from Castle Garenbrig to cast 2 creatures that cost 3, or 3 creatures that cost 2, something like that. So it could be kind of nice. You still elevate and make use of the explosive potential of Castle Garenbrig, but the curve is quite a bit lower. A lot of stuff at 3, and that would probably help out against the aggro things. However, do I like Torpor Orb? Not so much. Hornet Queen. Hornet Queen is probably going to be our best bet. Leyline of Sanctity, they're not targeting us whatsoever. This is basically a dead card. Very easy to know when to take it out and to bring in whatever makes the most sense, which I think should be the Hornet Queen. That swarm of flying death touchers should be quite good, especially because elementals, I think for the most part, they don't have too much trample. Kind of like it. You know what? I'm going to keep it. I'm going to hope they're not super explosive. Oh my, okay, well that, yeah, top decking a Sunken Citadel. What more could you ask for? Oh, and a Ghalta Stampede Tyrant. Whew. Now we don't have 3 on turn 3 at the moment. It is just another Castle Garenbrig, so we can't cast Archdruid's Charm, but at least it's not a Brushfire Elemental. Could be worse. Another Castle Garenbrig. Interesting. They're basically dead. Playing the third Castle Garenbrig and then Archdruids to search for another Sunken. It's going downhill. Hopefully we can survive. Oh, ooh. Okay. Well. Yeah, that tends to do the trick. As long as we live, as long as we get a creature that gives everybody haste, Regisaur Alpha or Palani's Hatcher, that sort of thing. Okay, not dead yet. 7. 9. Oh boy. Vaultborn Tyrant is going to help us survive quite nicely. It has to be at least a forest land to help the other Castle Garenbrig enter the battlefield untapped. Oh, well. It's a lot of good cases. Thunderwolf. Yeah.
You have no power here.
Okay. I'll put in 2 Vaultborn Tyrants. All the triggers, they all see each other and themselves at the same time. Yeah. I don't think they're coming back from that. Yeah, pretty decent. I don't expect them to be able to deal 28, but we don't need any lands. We don't need anything that searches for lands. At that point, when you are able to play Ghalta and you draw so many cards, just get rid of lands, and pretty straightforward there. Not too much thought is required. Flooded at this point now. Okay. Whew. But I gotta say, I think I still might go down to 19. Often enough, it really does seem like I get more than enough. If I'm only playing one thing a turn, as I often do, sometimes I'm left with that extra 1, that extra 2 mana, quite a bit. And, trim it down to 19. I was at 18 lands for quite some time, but down to 19, free up space for one more big thing, potentially. Maybe something in the 3 or 4 range. Okay.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!
Oh, you still have to play that event. Ah, man. I feel for you. 100%. Yeah, that is a little bit unfortunate. Maybe I should celebrate because things have gone so well. I'll go into that event and I'll get the final style. Boros Heroic or Gruul Slick Shots. Fantastic. That is something I'm going to work on with my primer for this deck. Specifically, I'll go over all the matchups, but Boros Heroic, hope for the best. I haven't really faced a whole lot of Boros Heroic. It has really been mono black waste not, so my win rate has felt pretty good with that Leyline of Sanctity. Pretty much I hope to go a little bit faster game 1 or get some wins. Maybe the Boros Heroic deck has stumbled a bit. They don't get the Illuminator Virtuoso for 1 in white double strike. They pump it up, and I think whenever they cast a spell, they connive, or whenever it's targeted, they connive. Put a counter on it, draw a card, discard a card. It gets really big, and with the double strike, oftentimes it is a 10-10, and then you're just dead. One hit, sometimes on turn 3, potentially, especially with the Monstrous Rage. But if they don't do that, if we can survive until turn 4, turn 5, might be able to get out a few wins. That's going to be good enough for me. Against a lot of other decks, I'm going to devastate them, but sometimes Ghalta could happen on turn 4, but if it happens on, turn 5, that might be good enough. The Boros Heroic opponents might have stumbled just a little bit. They won't always stumble, but when they do, I hope to capitalize on the slowness of what they do. Then I can stabilize. Maybe I just play Vaultborn Tyrant a little bit early. Well, turn 4. Sometimes I can make 7. If I can make 8 on turn 4 for Ghalta, there's definitely going to be more scenarios where this could land. A big creature, gain some life, blocks one of their big creatures, it dies and then it re-enters, gain more life, draw a card. You never know. You just never know. Or sometimes they give their Illuminator Virtuoso protection from green, and then Vaultborn Tyrant can't block it at all, sadly. But yeah, I just hope to get out a few wins by doing my regular game plan. Don't think about doing anything too fancy. And then trim the Leyline of Sanctity, take it out for game 2, bring in the Hornet Queen. Thunderwolf, the Hornet Queen is hopefully the thing that's going to help. Slick Shot, even though oftentimes it does have trample, just a swarm of death touch creatures. Sometimes that Hornet Queen landing at the proper moment, it can buy me enough time. But like I said, yeah, we're gonna try and get the final card style. If you haven't joined the Discord, you may have seen me feeling the pain using this dinosaur deck. If you can get to 4 wins, you get the Vaultborn Tyrant card style. But I stopped before getting the 5th win because it's a card I won't ever use. But I think we do it, and it's going to be nice. A little bit of a tangent talking about how bad this is. Oh my, oh my. Cloaked Phantom. Oh, okay. High Noon again, yes, 100%. I should look at one last job too. That would be good. The white one where, yeah, you bring something back. I just had never really considered it, but High Noon, 100%. For anybody that isn't aware, High Noon, players can only cast 1 spell a turn. So you're facing off against, is it Phoenix? Any sort of Phoenix deck, High Noon is a hard counter. If they can only cast 1 thing, those Phoenixes are never coming out of the graveyard. They would have to hard cast a Phoenix, and paying 4 for a 3/2 flying haste is, well, that tickles. That's not a whole lot of, it's not much. So it's lovely. Or combo, High Noon is the hard counter to combo. If it's out, Lotus Field, more like Lotus Petals, wilted Lotus Petals, because it doesn't have much effect. They play 1 pour over the pages to untap lands, and then they do nothing because they can't. So for anybody that is, you know, having trouble against decks that do a lot of stuff in 1 turn, toss in High Noon. Pretty easy to splash for, only needing 1 white. You can't go wrong. You might not always use it, but you might as well buy a playset, I would think. Yeah. But yeah, something to return. The Ghalta or the Vaultborn. I should look at that. I mean, go blank for 2 and a black. Target player discards 2 cards and our graveyard gets exiled. I am a little bit worried about graveyard exiling effects, but if go blank specifically can't target us because of Leyline of Sanctity, that would be pretty good. And I mean, who doesn't love a little bit of reanimation? Vaultborn Tyrant enters, it dies, we get a copy, we bring another one back, possibly with the copy of itself still out, and then we double up on that life gain and the card draw. Ooh. Yeah, I think that is a good suggestion. But back to the deck at hand, the event deck, Dynamite. The thing that stood out to me right away, only 2 Stalwart Spirit Tails. For the most part, I think these decks were made to feature the playset or a playset of a specific color from the big score. This being the playset of Vaultborn Tyrant. But any deck, any dinosaur deck, Stalwart Speartail, 4 copies. This is, in my mind at least, the main reason you play Dinosaurs in Historic or Alchemy, but mostly Historic. You want the full options available. There's no reason you should have less than a playset. Stack them. You want to see this as much as possible. One Stalwart Speartail entering, maybe attacking with another one. You pay that trigger, and the first Stalwarts pings both, and then perpetually all Dinosaurs in your hand, in your library, get +2/+2, and an opponent blocks the one that attacked, and then they get another perpetual +1/+1. It's the most amazing Enrage Dinosaur there is. So why would you not want a playset of the most amazing Enraged Dinosaur? I certainly would. And I should go back to Historic. I should elevate a Stalwart Speartail Dinosaur. Oh man, that would be good. Well, we'll think about it. But also, going along the Armored Kincaller, it's not terrible. For 3, you get a 3/3, and you gain 3 life. You stabilize a little bit, you buy yourself a little bit of time, and you trade with quite a few creatures. I've used it a little bit in the past. I featured it one night. I kind of like the art. So not terrible. The Sprouting Goblin, kind of neat, I guess. Get rid of a flood of lands, which this list certainly can have with the 6 mountains and the 7 forests. That's
Unforgivable.
Ooh, a little bit too much. It is quite a bit slow. 100%. Yeah, the Pathfinding Axe Jaw, pretty good if you're just starting out. You don't have a whole lot of wild cards. 4 for a 4/3, you explore, so you increase the chance of seeing something you need, or you just get that land on top and you put it into your hand. Pretty good advantage, but yeah, just a basic general thing. I would like to see a playset of the Wingbane Vantasaur. This is just an all-around fantastic option. A big body, has 4 power, so it synergizes with the Vaultborn Tyrant. But there's only one thing. If you need to destroy an artifact or enchantment, boom, there you go. You conjure and naturalize. If you need a little bit of interaction, you get a Savage Stomp. So just all around, fantastic potential, doing whatever you need. Chances are, if the opponent doesn't have creatures, they probably have an artifact or an enchantment. Just being able to be so versatile. Yeah, there's no reason you shouldn't have a playset. Just jam it, you're good. Stalwart Speartail, playset. Lightning Strike, Belligerent Yearling. If you have a bunch of big dinosaurs, a playset of this. Turn 2 Belligerent Yearling into turn 3 Pugnacious Hammer Skull. Entering, making the Belligerent Yearling 6 power and trample is pretty decent, but there is no Pugnacious Hammer Skull in this list, unfortunately. Ixley's Lorekeeper, I mean, that right there is
Good Lord, what is happening in there?
yeah, I mean, if you're going to use a dork, you're using the playset, probably 8, but there's it's a list. We'll leave it at that. But Ixley's Lorekeeper, the whole playset, you want to see your 1-drop on turn 1 as often as possible, and you're going to achieve that by having all 4 copies. But again, we're going to resume it. We're going to see if I can get the 5th win. Oh boy, I didn't actually think I would do this, but yeah, it's a good little side quest. Having some fun tonight. I'm always having fun, but this is a little bit of extra fun. Or pain. I guess it could be pain. I'll try not to be too hard on the deck list. I don't know who made it. We gotta be understanding as much as possible. Pretty decent. Get that Ixley's Lorekeeper down. Scalestorm Summoner could come down on turn 2, but When it attacks... That's a tough one. You know what? Commercial District and the Belligerent Yearling. Oh, and a mountain on top. Very nice. So I have access to 4 mana on turn 3, but I still want to go with the Scalestorm Summoner. I want it to be down, and I want it to attack as soon as possible, because whenever it does, if we control a creature with power 4 or greater, we make that dinosaur token. That's going to be good. Mandible Justicar. I don't have too many big things. The Pathfinding Axejaw is only 4 power. If it traded with the Mandible Justicar, I wouldn't be too hurt. If I had a big creature with maybe 7 or 8 power coming up, I might kind of preserve the Belligerent Yearling until it activated at least once and temporarily got buffed. Yeah. We'll wait. Take the damage. We want that the Scalestorm Summoner. Slummoner. We want that to activate at least once. Well, I like a good lightning strike. Yeah, you know what? Let's save that Triumphant Chomp. Yeah, just in case they have some big creature. Triumphant Chomp taking out something with 5 power or less. That could be quite devastating for the opponent. Could get us out of a sticky situation. Which the opponent is in a pretty sticky situation. Okay, not too bad. Don't think they're attacking into us. Oh, the lightning strike to boot. I like it. The Lore Keeper, though, it is quite interesting. I would have assumed that the Lore Keeper, the Auto Tapper, would use the Lore Keeper first, but it tried to use lands instead. I want to preserve my lands for Triumphant Chomp in Lightning Strike. I need 2 red. I need 3 lands in total. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Eventually, once I can click this. Okay, we'll take them out. 1 less creature, 1 less thing to block. Would be nice if more of these creatures did have trample, but no, you can't have everything you ask for. Oh, okay. Did all right. Pleasantly surprised. That absolutely was not the case. I spent my entire lunch break, I think it was on Thursday. It might have been Wednesday, but something like that. But my entire lunch break, I tried to get the wins. I didn't get a single win. Then I got home and I grinded it out, and well, it took me all evening to get to the 4th win. Fortunately, 1 game was all it took to get that final card style, which is actually a pretty interesting card. And we could talk about it a little bit here. Let's do that. Omenpath Journey, a very scary thing, because when it enters, you search your library for 5 land cards that have different names. So I could search for a Sunken Citadel, a Castle Garenbrig, Stomping Ground, a Forest, Cavern of Souls, exile them, and then at the beginning of our end step, choose 1 at random, put it onto the battlefield tapped. But the painful thing, the opponent could take this out before it gets to our end step, so we've just taken 5 lands out of our library. We've paid 4 to do a whole lot of nothing. We've drawn out a piece of removal from the opponent, but that would feel bad. However, keep in mind, if the game has gone on, pretty long, I'm about to get flooded. I play this. I'm in a situation where I can make 8 mana, as I've been doing tonight and many nights before. But I'm able to make 8 mana. I don't want to see any more lands whatsoever. Playing this for 4 to take 5 cards from my library that I no longer need could be pretty fantastic, pretty drastically increasing the chances of seeing something that I do want by removing 5 that I don't. And if the opponent responds and takes this out, maybe they throw out an oops because they think they did something good, but I don't care because I already did something good by sort of milling 5 useless pieces. Something to think about. I might try it one day. Actually, what was that? No. We finished the event. I'm not playing it just for fun. It was not that fun. Back to the regularly scheduled events. Maybe we'll face off against Mono Black Waste Knot. Again, I bet. I smell it. I'm going to get more coffee, though. Be right back. Oh, that's a hot coffee, but heaven. I do appreciate it. I love the thumbnail as well. I really brightened up that art for the Thrashing Brontodon, and it worked out perfectly. I kind of like it how the Thrashing Brontodon is staring down at that little red dino, but 100% this is the keeper. You know what? I'll send Palani's Hatcher to the bottom. I want to preserve Ghalta. Mono Black Waste Knot. Let's do it. Do it. You know you wanna.
Yes.
They played that swamp. Oh boy. Is it 2 Mono Black Waste Knot in a night? I think it might be. Oh, this is good. So good. I'm just glad I only had to mulligan once to get to... okay. Rogues. Dimir Rogues. Blue and black. Very painful stuff. A lot of mill and counter spells. So Caverner Souls should come in pretty handy. Especially because I only have 2 Caverner Souls in the list at the moment. Hopefully I see a Carnage Tyrant next turn. I'm able to make 6, but I will eventually get to 7 mana for the Tyrranax Rex, so it's not all lost. Okay. Another Ghalta Stampede Tyrant. Not the best thing in the world, but again, they can't thought seize. Now the question becomes, will I keep in Leyline of Sanctity against Dimir Rogues? It's not like their whole plan is, discard. I hope so. I think, I hope. Oh, okay. Darn. Well, now they got it. Okay, fine by me. Kind of sucks, but hey, they got the job done somehow, some way. But yeah, I just love doing one thing and learning one thing as much as possible. I think other people can bring the pain with dinos. I hope if any of you guys try this out, you can replicate what happens for me. Hopefully the good moments and not so much the painful ones. Shieldred's Edict, well, heaven, if you weren't here at the beginning.
But you can't do this to me.
You know how much I sacrificed?
Pretty good stuff. Okay. Now the question becomes, will they flash in the guy for blue and a black? Flying Okay, they won't. I'm going to try and get Archdruid's Charm off. That is the Green Goblin Heaven, yes, from the first Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure it's the first one, but Sheoldred's Edict made me sacrifice the Carnage Tyrant, so I felt that clip was just absolutely perfect. Whenever the opponent makes me sacrifice somebody, that's what I'm doing. I think I kind of want another Castle Garenbrig. Played a little bit safe if they get Field of Ruin. Hopefully it's some big dino. Okay, I like that. This is good. At least I am able to attack with Ghalta. Very, very positive indeed. They can't kill it, which is very nice. They are tapped out, so phew. I would imagine they have another Sheoldred or a Thoughtseize that is going to get rid of the Ghalta that I have in hand. Probably. Hopefully they don't have another Sheoldred, or they could just be dead. That's also a possibility. Excuse me. Hopefully Regisaur Alpha survives, and then Ghalta can also attack again next turn. Not too bad. Drown in the Loch, very, very scary. Very cheap removal. It cares about how many cards are in my graveyard, countering a spell with mana value less than or equal to the number in my graveyard, or destroying a creature with mana value less than or equal to the number of stuff in my graveyard. But sometimes you get to do lovely stuff like that. Hopefully it's good enough. They're almost dead. If they have nothing that can kill Ghalta or bounce it, we might have enough trample damage to get the job done next turn. We'll see. It's going to be close. They got to have removal. Sacrificing something. A Drown in the Loch could take out Ghalta. Sadly, we have 13 cards in our graveyard, so they can take out a creature with a mana value 13 or... oh boy. That's it. That's it. They only have 7. Exactly. That's exactly lethal. That's exactly lethal.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!
I feel like drawing a card. Just cuz. Yeah, stick it to him. Good stuff. I didn't take my trip. No. No trip for me yet. Beautiful. I'm just happy we're here, heaven, to witness a perfect, exactly lethal. One day I'm going to take a trip, probably maybe when all my kids are grown up. My daughter just turned 4, and then my son is a year and 5 months. Something like that. Both young. We want to have 4 kids, so we're halfway there. But I think maybe down the line, even when we're not quite done, we might. I think so, Heaven. The original Ghalta, of course, able to cast it usually for a cost of only 2 green. If we have a total power of 10 or greater, it's reduced by that much. And 2 green for a 12/12 trample. Usually it has haste, as always, with Regisaur or Palani's Hatcher. But this new one, yeah. Oh, yeah, a year already. Oh, crazy. Maybe I'll take a video of my son tomorrow, but post it in the Discord or make a little video for the channel. However, I do like that. Well, I don't really care about Leyline of Sanctity. Like I said, it's not like this deck is centered around targeting me to discard cards. Leyline of Sanctity not exactly putting in a ton of work. Torpor Orb might be nice. Whenever Thieves Guild Enforcer or another rogue enters and enter the battlefield effect, turning off that could be pretty decent. You know what? I'm going to do that. And the Thrashing Brontodon. Actually, nah. Hornet Queen is where it's at. Yeah. Hornet Queen, rogues, some of them, they do have flying, but also the rogues can get big and they have death touch. But now with the Hornet Queen, I have my own creatures with death touch and we just trade. And there you go. The Skullspore Nexus, Thunderwolf, I think it is pretty fantastic. It would be, a reasonable one of, but the question becomes, when is the turn that I'm casting Skullspore Nexus? Pretty much the earliest it would be turn 5. Casting Carnage Tyrant on turn 4, Skullspore Nexus turn 5. I don't know. But also, is the Skullspore Nexus completely necessary to help me achieve what I want to achieve? That's also pretty important, I think. I don't think it helps me achieve something that I wasn't already achieving anyways, so perhaps it would be better to have something that maintained the consistency and that sort of thing. But yeah, it wouldn't be bad. Of course, with the Skullspore, paying 2, tapping it to double a creature's power. When all the creatures are so big, you gain even more value from it. Ghalta Stampede Tyrant doubled would be 24 power. That's pretty good for 2, I gotta say. And definitely grabbing that Castle Garenbrig, hoping we can make something good happen. It's not quite gone downhill yet, but I would hope for a Cavern of Souls at some point. It is 100%, and the Great Henge, very fantastic. I think, depending on the list, the Skullspore Nexus, the Great Henge, they would make a whole lot more sense, seeing what you have in. Yeah. We're going to be playing Sunken Citadel next turn. Commune with Dinosaurs, we'll search for that. Archdruid's Charm is going to be next turn, I hope. We might just mostly be dead, but, well, we'll see. 5, okay, it's not nothing. Oh, no, 100% the Ixaly's Lore Keeper. Although I still think the Llanowar Elves and Elvish Mystic might be better. They tap for a green, and the early game can be leaning quite a bit more towards green, so being able to use the green for anything, the Skullspore Nexus or the Great Henge to cast it, could be better than the 1 green from Ixaly's Lore Keeper. But, yeah, sometimes you just die, and you get flooded. I had way too many lands there, unfortunately. But yeah. With the Lore Keeper, it only being able to be used for dinosaurs, sometimes you could run into a sticky situation where you have just enough mana left, you're wanting to play the Great Henge, but you can't use the mana from the Lore Keeper, where you could have used the mana from Llanowar Elves or the Elvish Mystic. It all depends. Or you're using Archdruid's Charm. You want to cast this on turn 2 with the Lore Keeper. You couldn't. There's a lot of questions I think you have to ask yourself. Hopefully we see a Hornet Queen there and a little bit less of mill from this opponent. But I still think Leyline of Sanctity, yeah, wouldn't have done a whole lot. I'm going to keep that pretty reasonable. I don't have to mulligan, so I'm already at my starting amount of cards. I'm not down 1 or 2. And with Commune, hopefully, I should be seeing my 3rd land, 3rd source of green for Archdruid's Charm here. Should do the trick. Nah. Now I could wait. However, the opponent could go Thoughtseize. They could rip Commune. It's always best if you suspect a Thoughtseize or Dress, you turn Commune into something that can't be discarded, as I'm just doing right there. Boom, we're safe. We got the 3 green. There you go. But if they didn't have Thoughtseize, it might be better to wait, see if I draw Castle Garenbrig, because I could dig and then look for a Sunken Citadel, something like that. If you don't have a turn 2 play, you might as well wait, and the information you gain from drawing your second card could change what you want to grab with Commune, and might not make a whole lot of difference, but sometimes it will. It makes my head spin still, and well, this is the only thing I play. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, that is very, very good. Hopefully we see Ghalta Stampede Tyrant. If we draw it, and then we go Archdruids to search for the other Sunken, we might be able to save ourselves. But Hornet Queen could also save ourselves. Pretty good with the Leyline of Sanctity. Gives us Hexproof, which turns off the Vein Ripper. That is a targeted ability whenever a creature dies. So the Vein Ripper loses that completely. It just becomes a big flying creature, which is quite nice, and we don't have to worry about Thoughtseizes from the Rakdos Vampire's opponent. So it's decent enough for me. Oh, it doesn't hurt me that much. I still have so many big creatures. You know, it's all right. Oh, Ghalta on top. We were gonna go Archdruid's Charm anyways, but yeah, we'll see. Oh boy. Hopefully they don't have a counter spell. I bet they will. Drown in the Lock, which will end our chances. But if they don't have a counter spell, maybe we're safe. Oh boy. Oh boy, here goes nothing. They're thinking about it. They're doing it. Yep. Drown in the... Oh, okay. Cavern of Souls. We're going to go Cavern of Souls, and we're going to name Insect. Because I want to stick to Hornet Queen. Surprise. Hopefully this buys us time. At the very least, well, it might. We're about to find out. Can't counter that with your Drown in the Lock, which... There you go. I'm just happy I had the other one of my 2 Cavern of Souls. I saw one in the graveyard here. I wasn't actually checking what was milled, so I thought maybe the second one also had been milled. But now, maybe we can live. You never know. Okay. I don't think they're ever attacking into this. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. They might just about be... I can go with Archdruid's Charm. That's what I'm getting at. Search for Ghalta Stampede Tyrant. Now they could have a counter spell. I'm pretty sure they do. That dastardly Drown in the Lock. However, you know what? I'm going to take this. I'm going to take out the Soaring Thought Thief. We take out one creature and also Death Touch. The damage goes from the creature to theirs. It doesn't matter how big that creature is, as long as the creature that I target has Death Touch, the one from the opponent dies. We reduce their total amount of creatures, and we make it so they're definitely not attacking, and we draw out that Drown in the Lock with Palani's Hatcher. Eventually we'll work our way down to Vaultborn Tyrant after they run out of counter spells. Do it. Come on. Get it out of the way.
Don't push it. Don't push it. I'll give you a war you won't believe.
Hopefully they don't have another one. Kind of be nice if they spent a bit of their mana and I could land Vaultborn to stabilize. We'll just keep getting it burnt. Oh, so they might not have it. This is very good though. I have a bunch of creatures on the ground. A bunch that can block that Thieves Guild Enforcer. Palani's Hatcher being 3 bodies in 1 can be very nice to buy yourself a little bit of time here. It'll probably be maybe fatal pushing the egg that I crack. We have no reason to attack. We have to play it absolutely safe. 100%. Maintain everything. This is not looking too good. Yikes. Yikes. I only have 22 cards left in the library. Oh, okay. Do I risk it? You know, let's try it. Let's try it. I'm pretty sure they have a counter spell, but I can't resist. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. They were probably just saving it for that anyways. And I don't have any Cavernous Souls. I couldn't have used Sylvan Scrying to search for a third cavern. Nah, nuts. But is that all the Ghalta Stampede Tyrants? 1, 2, 3. There is 1 left in the library. Maybe it's coming up. At the very least, I think I could get Vaultborn Tyrant down. We have 2 Drown in the Locks. Chances are the opponent probably has a whole play set. Scarab God is something. Definitely. But the Vaultborn Tyrant is also something. Stabilize quite nicely. Ooh, and the Archdruid's Charm to boot. You know what, we'll see what Vaultborn Tyrant draws out. I imagine it could be somebody with Death Touch. If it dies, we get the copy, which is quite nice. I wanted to start picking away a little bit. Oh boy, Scarab God make Ghalta Stampede Tyrant a 4/4. Ooh, that is pretty nice. Even if they make a token of a big creature in our graveyard with the Scarab God's ability, it's not like, you know, it's super duper scary. However, I want to draw something out with Sylvan Scrying. Maybe they think I want the land, I don't. Yeah, a good old Boseiju. Do I want to attack with everybody? That is the question. Just keep playing it safe. We can use Archdruid's Charm to take out the Scarab God. We'll see what creatures they put onto the battlefield. Archdruids could search for the 4th and final Ghalta now that they only have 1 mana. Any number of things. Hopefully it's not too many creatures that they... Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty cool. Ooh, there's the 4th and final Ghalta Stampede Tyrant. However, Archdruid's Charm, we're going to be shooting that Zerasan. No funny business from you. Out of the way. We still have a lovely big creature. I imagine they combine blockers to take it out, which would have been good. I think we're still safe. Probably. 1, 2, 4, 7 blockers, you know. just keep whittling them away. But we only have 9 cards. They could almost mill us completely. It's going to be down to the wire, that's for sure. Now.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
That was the wrong one. Kind of forgot what that clip was. I was using Smuggler's Surprise for a little bit there, but no, maybe I'll switch that one up. That's okay, not too... One zombie losing a bit of life could be... Oh boy, pretty painful. Alright, is this pretty much it? Not quite. Not quite. Maybe a fatal push to take out a token, and we might survive with just a little bit of health. We'll see. It's going to be close. Vaultborn Tyrant's quite big, which is nice. If they take it out, oh, they don't. Well, okay, this is interesting. Let me think. 6, 5. Just seeing if I can play multiple creatures. What do I want to play? I think Regisaur Alpha's probably the best bet. No, we'll go with Carnage Tyrant. Eventually. A little bit glitchy there. Again. Commune with Dinosaurs, it's something. Just keep smacking them. Guess I really could have attacked with the flying creatures. I probably should do the math.
Dang! Oh!
I don't imagine they want to... Well, maybe they do. Now they lose multiple bodies. Soaring Thought Thief would be good. Taking out 2 things. I'm fine with that. But maybe they finally also want to take out the Vaultborn Tyrant. Okay. Here goes nothing. Taken forever. It's like kind of like a control deck. But I think we should be safe. With the 8, we could take damage from the both Thieves Guild Enforcers. That Hornet Queen, though, that's not so good. A bunch of creatures to block is going to be quite painful, but a lot of damage would go through with the Vaultborn. Plus having Regisaur Alpha, that's pretty nice. Commune with Dinosaurs to dig for hopefully somebody nice and big. Looks like they might have some piece of removal. They have 2. I could see somebody going down though. Oh, Carnage Tyrant tends to pack a punch. That's what we're doing. Oh, that's got to do it. It's got to do it. Okay, yeah, decent bit of life. I think we should be okay. I'm pretty sure it's it. It's taken long enough, whether it's it or not, but 14 trample damage and the opponent is at 2. That right there is okay. Gonna be problematic. Definitely. Most of their stuff has to block. We don't have to worry about Hall of the Storm Giants. Hopefully cross your fingers they don't have a 6 land, and then they can activate and make it a 7/7. It's just too bad that those dinosaur tokens don't also have trample. We definitely get the job done in that case. It is nice though, taking out the Scarab God and the Thieves Guild Enforcer. No, it's pretty decent. They will shuffle the Scarab God back into the library when it dies. Well, return it to their hand at the beginning of the next end step, and then they have to spend 5 just to cast it, so they basically take their entire turn to do that. Pretty much every creature has to block. I think the creatures that are going to be left won't be enough to deal 10. The Brazen Borer can't block, and yeah. Caught between a rock and a hard place, that's for sure. Yeah, getting there. Good stuff. Eventually, they'll get it sorted out. Make sure the Scarab God is dead, just in case for whatever reason it isn't. Ooh. Okay, we're mostly safe. Commune with dinosaurs. Let's, I like a good Vaultborn Tyrant. We won't use Sylvan Scrying. We only have 4 cards left in the library, so yeah, that's not happening. Can't exactly play Vaultborn Tyrant as well. They have to play the Scarab God, I'm pretty sure. And the Brazen Borer can't block. Interesting. If they don't have Fatal Push, they're dead. Hopefully they don't have Fatal Push. Whew, I think I earned that. I know sometimes maybe I play that particular clip a little bit too often, but oh, it's just so good, and persevering after that slugfest. Yes, good games, Thunderwolf 100%. I'm almost certain I missed lethal a couple turns previously with all the damage from the Hornet Queens, but being so low. And what did I say? The Thunderwolf, you asked about aggressive decks, not that this is aggro, but I mentioned how the Hornet Queen coming down just in the nick of time can grind the aggression from various opponents right to a halt, and Hornet Queen perfectly did that. Boom, it landed, and then they proceeded to do nothing. They have a lot of single target removal, but now I have 5 creatures, all flying, all death touch with 1 card, and it's a creature that costs 7 green. I can easily make 7 green for a creature, so it's very good. You saw why I love the Hornet Queen so much. Man, tonight was good. We'll leave it there. Fantastic to have a positive nightcap. It's always positive. Nice to see some new faces. So get some good rest. Have a good rest of your time zone, whenever it is, wherever it is. Take a big bite out of that like button, and yeah, see you next time. Peace.